Good evening, everyone. Today, I'm Answita Das Gaukar, a data analyst with AI Intern. I am here to present my third project on the topic of Airbnb dashboards. So, for this, we have been provided with two data sets of two different cities. First is the Chicago city, first is the Chicago data set, and the second one is the New Orleans data set. So, for this project, we have to first cleanse our data. For that, I have used the Jupyter notebook. For that, I have used the Jupyter Notebook for the data cleansing. So as you can see in my screen, first I have imported the libraries like the NumPy and Panda. Then the first, then I have cleansed the first dataset, which is the Chicago dataset.csv. So for this, first I have uploaded the dataset in the form of and named it as Chicago-BNB. After that, I've checked it for the columns. So as you can see, there are a lot of columns in there, but we require only a specific kind of columns which have been shown, which have been given to us in the project. So for that, I have created a new data set with the columns we want for the project. That is the ID, host name, neighborhood claims, latitude, longitude, property type, room type, price, minimum nights. Then comes the last review and reviews per month. So also, to identify that this dataset is for the Chicago city, I have created a new column from using the BNB city equal to Chicago. And as you can see from my dataset, that in the last area it comes as Chicago. So, yeah. If we move on further, you can see that it is shown as Chicago. So the city column of the Chicago has been created. Now, as we move on further, first I use the describe to find all the details, overview details regarding of the headset, like the mean, STD mean, 25%, 50%, 75%, and the max. After that, I have checked if any columns are having null values present in them. So as you can see, the neighborhood columns contain 3,648 null values. The price value consists of 1,030 null values, and the last review has 1,878 null values in it, and the reviews per month also have 1,878 null values in it. So first for that, I first just check the data types. So these are all the data types which have been shown here. So now I will first fill the missing neighborhood with the neighborhood cleansed column. So as you can see that BNB1 neighborhood dot fill any, that is the null values to BNB1 neighborhood cleansed. So as you can see the sum, so you can see that the neighborhood null values have been cleaned out and used. There are no null values present in it. After that, I have checked. And I've done the. I have deleted the null values using. I have not deleted the null values. I have just converted the first. I've converted the price to the numeric form and then filled the missing price value with that median price value. So as you can see, using this command bnb1 price dot fill any is equal to bracket bnb1 bracket price dot median in plus true. So if you can see bnb dot additional dot sum, I've again got there are no null values in the price as it was in the first one. So for the last review and the reviews per month, we have just written that if there are some null values present, then write no review in the last review column, and if the reviews per month, I have just written 0. So after again checking for the is null value, you can see all the columns don't have any null values present in them. So just I have renamed the neighborhood cleansed into the neighborhood group, and um, this is the final data set as you can see. So again, I was once again described it to check after all the cleansing I have done. So BNB1 described. So this is all the overview which I have got. So for that, I have the total number of rows, that is 874, 8,748 rows into 15 columns are the total dataset values present in them. So this I have stored in the form of Plains Chicago dataset, and you can see over here, this is the CSV form which has been present, CSV data file which I have got. using that part. So this is the ID, name, host name, neighborhood, neighbor, latitude, longitude, property type, room type, price, minimum last review reviews per month, and city. Now following on to the second city, which is the New Orleans. Again, I have done the same thing, same as done in the Chicago dataset. First, I have uploaded the CSV file, then described about, then checked about its columns, then again uh, created a new dataset with the required columns only. Also, again, I have done the same, like I have created a new column city and written New Orleans in it so that I can get an idea that all the cities are of New Orleans and it can be used for my future visualization also. So as such, I have done, and so you can see in this the null values present are in the host name, neighborhood, price, last review and the reviews per month. Again, I check for the data types of them. So in this, I have first written if the host name, if in the host name, if there are no name, if there is no null value, so I have written no name. In the same manner, if in the neighborhood column, if there is any such null values present, then I have I replaced it with the neighborhood cleansed value. In the same way, for the price, I first converted my price into the numeric form and then added the median price in the case of the null values. Also, in the case of the last preview, I have written if there is any such null value present, then it write should show no review, and in the reviews per column, it should write 0. After all this, we can see that no null values are present in our column. Also, in this, I have renamed my column that is the neighborhood claims to neighborhood group. And after that, I've again checked for its overview and again stored this new dataset in the form of cleansed New Orleans dataset. This is a cleansed New Orleans dataset. So this is the cleansed New Orleans dataset in the CSV format. Yeah, and in the last, just for more further assistance, I have just combined both of my data sets, that this is the BNB1 and BNB2 into one single CSV file that is known as the Airbnb listing data.csv as shown so that in the future I can visualize both the cities and differentiate between them. So this is the total data cleansing which I have done using the Jupyter notebook, and this is the CSV file, the last final CSV file which I have been found. That is, this is the using my Jupyter notebook. So as you can see, the first part contains the Chicago first half, and the second half contains the New Orleans dataset. Okay, so moving on the further, now I have used my Power BI to visualize the Chicago dataset also and the New Orleans dataset, and also for the both the merged datasets. So according to the first question which was provided us in our project, which is which are the popular neighborhoods, their average prices, and the number of listing. So in according to the Chicago visualization, we can see that the neighborhood name is the neighborhood highlights have the highest average price, and the count of and the listing for this neighborhood is about 5,100. In the same way, if we go on to the forward, like the neighborhood of near north side, near west side, loop, and the west town, they both have a moderate. Uh, I can say that they have a moderate price, and that count ID is 352, 345, 325, and 226. So these are all the data which have been received from the visualized from the data set which have been cleansed. So now comes to question 2, which says that which what is the percent share of the different property types and the room types. So for this specific question, I have created a new column in this data using the Power BI section, using Power BI in the form of that is the room property type. So using this command, which is room property type equal to room property type equal to the name of the this is the Airbnb Chicago property type, and yes, dash clean Chicago dataset property type. It is the dataset name which I have been given up. So on the basis of that, we can see according to the percentage share in Chicago, entire home slash apartment and the entire rental unit are both which have a higher number of the percentage share, which is about, according to it is about to 30.6%, followed by the private room and the private room in rental unit, which is about private room and rental, which is about 3.82%. So there are various like 3.82%, followed by the other such like the entire home, like apartment, entire home slash entire condo. So now comes the question three, which states that what is the how the pricing is varying with location, property type, and the reviews. So, so as seen from this tree map, average price according to the reviews per month and the neighbor is the this is a near north side neighborhood has the highest reviews per month. This is the 0.97 and the highest average price is 15,000 above, followed by 0.39. That is the Lincoln Park, then the Austin. Also, sorry, after I have just misplaced. First comes the 0.97 review was near north side, then comes the yeah, so Humboldt Park. In the same way, there are various other places which you can see. This is for the average price according to the reviews per month and a neighborhood. Now comes the average price according to the reviews per month and the property type. So as you can see, the the highest rating according to them is the entire home, which is the 0.97, and the average price is 15,000, followed by no, it's not about the highest rating part, but you can see the place like this were having the smaller yeah again I will just repeat my question three as I had got a little bit dismantled over here. So as you can see in this question three, which is for the average price according to the reviews per month and the property type, as you can see that places which like the entire service apartment has a review point of 8.92. It means that even though the prices over lower prices, but the all the property type which have some of the lower prices have an higher reviews per month because of the budget friendly nature and also because of the uh, budget friendly nature. But if we go on to the higher prices area, you can see the ratings are very low because of their higher cost and a higher cost which and non affordability of that system. Now comes the question four, which is the correlation between the host, reviews, and price. And this question was, what are the different correlations between the type of host factors like reviews and price? Yes, so according to you can see according to this host, the one of the main hosts which in the Chicago region is Tonia, or I can say Tanya, which has an average review of 0.49. So yeah, so there are various different. So the main host here is the Tonia, then comes our Jocelyn, Britannia. These are all the other host names which have been given. Yeah. Now last comes the overview of all the four. Although for the overview of BNB property analysis, pricing analysis, and the host analysis. So this is the overview which have been created. So as you can see, if we click on some one of their part, and everything there according to that changes. Mm. So this is all about the Airbnb Chicago project. If I move on further to the Airbnb Orleans project, New Orleans project. In the same way, here also in the popular neighbor in the question one, the neighborhood highlights is one of the most popular neighborhoods according to the visualization, followed by central business district, central city also. In the question two also the percentage share according to the room and property type. In this also the entire home and apartment or entire home property type is considered one of the biggest holds one of the biggest percentage share, which is the 23.67, followed by the entire home apartment, entire rental unit, which also 14.08, and the following on. After that, the question three, average price according to the reviews per month and the neighborhood. You can see uh, also in this case, the reviews per month for having higher prices have less reviews as compared to the places where prices are lower but the reviews are higher, because people generally consider having a budget friendly neighborhood rather than having an higher price neighborhood. In same case of the property type also, uh, higher prices causes less reviews, whereas the lower prices causes higher reviews. Yeah. Question four is the correlation between the host review and the price also. So here also in the New Orleans, the host Styla is one of the main hosts here. As you can see, she has a have a higher price, followed by the followed by all the other all the other. This is also an overview of the project three Airbnb. This is all the overview of that. Okay, now coming to the main part, which is the main our the main. Okay. Now coming to a main project, which is the project three Airbnb listings, where I have merged both the data sets and compared between the two cities. So as you can see uh, from this first tree map, the larger blocks here indicate the higher cost areas, followed by many minor neighborhoods. Also, you can see that many minor neighborhoods have a few listings. Now, as you can see, according to this pie chart created, uh, both this of the tell us that the most listings on Airbnb are for the entire properties rather than the shared accommodation. Private rooms are still a significant category all over here. Hotels also have presence on Airbnb but have smaller shares. Also, the property type shows diverse options, but the rental units and homes dominate market. Also, I have done it according to the donut pie. So, according to it, you can also see that the major of Airbnb listings provide private fully faces spaces, followed by the whole property rental and the condo thing, followed by the private. Some users also rent single rooms rather than the entire space, and overall percent of the private rooms listings is much lower compared to the entire properties. Others such as the entire uh, suites, service apartments, etc. are also present, but shares are smaller. Now, if we go further to the question three, as you can see, according to this neighborhood location, average price according to the no neighborhood location, Chicago neighborhoods have lower average prices as compared to the New Orleans. Well-known locations like near North Side, French Quarter, Central Business District, and have moderate prices, which is the mix of high-end and budget listings. According to the room types, castles are luxury and unique. Entire villas, rooms, and hotels, apartments are of the higher prices, and the entire home and entire rental units have a moderate pricing, followed by the private room hostels have the lower end of prices. If we go on to this question, and according to the average price of neighborhood, according to the reviews which have been created using a um, clustered which I've created using this line and stack column chart, you can see that highest average price is for the um, seventh ward, followed by this Unity Whitney, that is the Whitney, Gentile Woods, Whitney have a relatively high pricing. Enough according to the price versus the reviews, average price versus the reviews, high price neighborhood always have fewer reviews, whereas the mid price reviews areas have higher reviews due to their being budget friendly or being popular among themselves. Now there is a high periods. So overall we can see that New Orleans has a high price segment as compared to the Chicago. Now according to this tree map, you can see the largest block, that is the fairgrounds, is the highest availability listing but having a moderate reviews. The high price areas with low reviews have like Bywater, this is the Bywater, then Boys St. John's and Central Business. Mid range with moderate reviews like Central Chicago and um, Central Chicago, Edgewater, Grand River, and balanced mix of price and guest interest. Now, low reviews, low demand is of like East Riverside, etc. Now, if we come to the question, now if you come to the average price according to the reviews per month and the property type, the entire rental unit which is dominates the higher review point. Luxury property villas, homes, castles, higher prices, less reviews. Entire townhouse, condos, hotels have the moderate pricing and reviews. The private rooms, apart hotels, both have lower prices and reviews. Now comes the question four, which is the okay, correlation between the host, review, and price. So according to this, Starlia of the New Orleans has an exceptionally higher average price, which is about $80,000, followed that is followed by Fatima. Now the most most stores have relatively modest pricing with few spikes. No strong, so according to there is no strong relation between the price and reviews, as Orange Line doesn't uh, inconsist increase consistently with the price. Also, some high price listings have lower reviews, lower occupancy due to lower occupancy or high unique exclusivity. There is a slight difference in pricing patterns for both the cities. So, according to this overview, which is the final part of this video, you can see according to this property listing, on the basis of this bar chart created the entire rental unit, which is about the 6,000. So, have the private room followed, have the highest listings followed by the private rooms, condo, and the homes. So according to it, you can see that Chicago has more number of listings than the New Orleans. Now, second comes the market analysis. So according to this, the entire home slash apartment listing have are the major one, as it contains about around of 40% of total listing, followed by the private rooms and the hotel rooms, which have the smaller shares but still contribute significantly. In the cases of price analysis, the highest price location you can see is by St. John's, Fairground, and by Water. And the in this tree map, the dark colors represent having an higher average price, and the light shades represent the lower average price. According to the host analysis, the Blue Ground has one of the most number of listings which is present in Chicago, followed by according to it, followed by the in New Orleans it is of Tigran. So according to this orange line which is present over this line and clustered stack, we can see that most hosts have low engagement in terms of the reviews. Thank you.